Man, it's so pretty.
Finally, it's about damn time.
In a minute.
I'm gonna need some cinnamon. Get a woman to pump me up.
Ow!
Hey guys, hello. Good morning.
Morning.
It is Tuesday. Very excited that it's Tuesday. You guys need to put us in your pocket if you can. If you will, please. If you will, please put us right there in your pocket. Save us for later. Subscribe
Right here.
Yeah, you can put us in your
bra.
What do they call that on men? What do they call that? The lapel? Is it? What is that?
Well, there's the lapel that you put like a pin on, but I don't know what that little pocket is called.
What's the pocket? Is it just a pocket? Is it just called a pocket? I'm trying to
like
make it more
breast
difficult.
Pocket.
Trying to make it more difficult than what it is. Put us right there in your breast pocket, men, where you put your little like hanky. Put us there, and then put us like anywhere. Just put us all over the place and save us for later. Just spread us all over your body. Save us for later. Click the subscribe button and do that. You can listen to us later if you're not listening to us live. Also, for a limited time, you can get 70% off, 70 plus an extra 25% off. It's an anniversary discount. And that's off the top selling packages during Genucel's Mother's Day sale. It's extended, you guys, at genucel.com/chicks. Do it. Yeah, Alexandra, spread us around like a lotion or like a chick's lotion.
Just don't do anything gross. Okay.
I mean, or do whatever. We'll forgive you. It's fine. We're all friends here.
So Camptono Friday event. Let me just give everybody a quick update on that. I got a couple of emails from people saying that they never got the email about Friday's event. And they're on it. I checked, and every last ticket holder was sent an email. Again, at this, yesterday I would have said, check your junk mail, check your spam. However, we are sold out now for Friday. So, here's the thing. Do not send multiple messages saying that you want to come on Friday. That is not helpful. In fact, that just makes me angry because it's more, it's just more.
And when she gets angry, she's like a bunny with fangs. Okay.
So one email is enough.
Right.
You can assume, unless you have received a reply that says, I'm sorry, we are sold out. If you have not received that reply and you have also said, yes, I want to come on Friday, you're coming on Friday. The only people who are not coming on that Friday are people who are going to hear from me directly in response to their email that I'm sorry, but we're full. Okay. So if you did not get an I'm sorry, we're full email, please assume that you did make the cut, and you will be hearing more about time, location, and all of the details for the Friday event within the next couple of weeks. Okay. I don't have an exact date because it's just going to be when I can find the time to do it. But just assume that you're coming unless you have specifically heard from me otherwise that we are sold out. And I only sent a sold out message to like 2 or 3 people tops. So just know that that's it. Like only 2 or 3 people have gotten that reply saying that we're full. But we are full now. So there's no reason to, try to get in at this point because Friday event is full. So I know Grace said, she asked, her plane doesn't come in on time. Like her plane lands, I think at 5:30 and the event or 5:15 or something. And the event is going to end before that. So I'm sorry that Grace won't be there, but we'll see her on Saturday. We'll see everybody who's not there on Friday. We're still going to see you on Saturday.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So it just makes it easier, actually, for the folks that are attending Saturday. You're going to get your time. You're going to get pics and hugs, right? It's just a way to make sure that everybody has a chance, that we meet everybody and all of that.
Right.
So.
And then we also,
so Mark is saying, do not come.
Yeah. But listen, and just to reiterate, kind of like what I said yesterday, it just makes it so we can party down on Saturday a little bit harder. We can all party. We can take an hour to party down and not just meet and greet, because I don't know if I've mentioned this, but I like to party down.
She likes to party. 200, Carrie. That's how many are coming on Friday. 200. So it's half. It's just half the attendees for Saturday's event. We just try to get hugs and pictures with half of them on half of you on Friday, and then the other half on Saturday, and then we all party together. That's the plan.
On
Because
Saturday.
we did not do that right in Tampa. Like Tampa, I don't think we ate. I don't think we sat. I don't think we moved from the corner of the room.
We did not. Yeah. But we did in Arizona, and we did in our second one. We did. And so we
had
did
Friday.
Right. In Arizona, we did. We actually had the night before, the day before, and we did it right. And so we were able to party down. It was great. So from here to 4, we're going to do that.
Yeah, it made things so much better. Also, quick reminder about Camptono t-shirts. They are available. And so I linked to those on our Facebook page, on our locals page, in our Facebook groups yesterday. So if you check out the link there, you can see it. It's gratefulamericanaapparel.com. That is where that's where that's where you can see the t-shirt. That's where you can order the t-shirt. It comes in sizes small through 3X, and they're super good quality shirts. We're doing it with the same folks that we've done the last couple with, and they're always such nice, thick cotton t-shirts. Really, really nice. They always turn out really, really great. And 100% of the profits go to help veterans causes. So that's a really good thing too, is that you're doing a good deed actually when you actually buy the shirt. Mike Connolly wants to know, what is the meaning of Camptono? You want to tell?
Yeah, tell the story.
Oh, I thought, okay, you don't want to tell?
No, you can tell it. Go ahead.
Well, you guys, there was that really famous YouTube video from years ago of a father talking to his little, I don't know, probably 2-3-year-old daughter, and she's in a car seat, and he wants her to say the word ice cream, and she struggles with that, and so he breaks it up, and he says, "Say ice," and she says ice, and he says, "Say cream," and she says cream, and then he says, "Okay, so put them together and say ice cream," and she says, "Camptono," and we've just always loved it, and so one of our insiders thought that is what you should call your meet and greets, is Camptono.
Because it's like a camp. It's like going away to camp with all of your friends when we hang out, except for we party down. And so we thought it would be great to call it Camptono, and it's just stuck. So we've called it Camptono every single time. It's just a different kind of Camptono every single time that we do it. So like this one happens to be in a beer garden.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's a little, but that's the origin of the
inside
name.
Joke, if you will. Yeah.
And actually, if you go to YouTube and like do a search on Camptono, you'll probably find that it's probably the top video that you'll see of that adorable little girl, which is super, super famous at this point. But that's the story. Now you know, if you didn't already.
Yep.
You guys, reminder about Fast Growing Trees. FastGrowingTrees.com, biggest online nursery of amazing plants, trees, flowers, fruit, bushes, indoor plants, anything that you need to make your home on the inside or the outside super, super lovely. They've got 2 million plus very, very happy customers. We are among those 2 million. I have this amazing heart-shaped jade plant that I got from Fast Growing Trees. I also have my lilac tree, which did so well this year. I don't know if lilacs grow, if you get the flowers more than once in a season. I don't know how that works, but when they bloomed, oh my gosh, just gorgeous. And they smell so amazing. And Fast Growing Trees makes it so easy because they can tell you based on your region, where you live in the country, what region you are in for plants. And that way, if you're looking at something and you're like, oh, I really love that fruit tree, you're going to know immediately, is that something that can even grow where you live? And so you save yourself a lot of headache and wonder about that. They make it so, so easy. And then they ship everything right to your door, which is so handy because you're not lugging a bunch of stuff around, carrying dirt in your car and all that. It just comes right to your door, very well packaged, really easy to follow instructions about how to plant and grow everything that you need. FastGrowingTrees.com is the website. When you use code CHICKS, you're going to save 15% on your order. And that, by the way, is on top of whatever sales they might have going on at any given time. FastGrowingTrees.com. We have super stickers. One from Tammy Grant. Tammy says, good morning to my favorite chicks. Happy 70th birthday to my BFF and fellow insider, Diane Robb.
Happy birthday. Thank you, Tammy. Hi, Tammy.
Hi. And Layla's Life. Thank you. Layla says, so bummed I have to miss Camptono. Been waiting for you ladies to be close, and now you are only 2 hours away, and I will be on my way to Nashville for my team's softball nationals.
Boo.
I have watched you for years. maybe someday, maybe next year.
Yeah, we're gonna have them in the future. I know they're gonna have more probably. We only did one this year, but we're probably gonna have maybe 2 in 2025 or 2026.
Don't know about that, but like
maybe
for sure
at least one in 2025.
And it'll likely be in Texas, so
or South Carolina, one of the two.
Well, I mean, we'll hit both places at some point, but I think next year, didn't we already kind of decide Texas? We just don't know where. In Texas,
somewhere in Texas.
Yeah. And then Kim Poole, thank you. Kim says, are the shirts men's, women's, or unisex? Love you, ladies. They are, in fact, unisex. It's just one shirt that ranges from small to 3X. I think we generally get mediums. I mean, I like a little bit of a looser fit, and they are great, like at a medium for us. I don't know if that helps any, but yeah, that's the shirts. That's the deal with the shirts. All right. One other quick just headline that I wanted to laugh about with you. And that is that Prince Harry and Meghan's charity has now been like frozen from being able to raise or spend any money because they apparently did not file the appropriate records or submit the appropriate records for their charity because they suck at doing those things. And so now they're like, there's a freeze on their charity and the money. They can't raise any money. They can't spend any money. Sucks to be them right now. And I just thought that was funny.
Well, I mean, he's still getting money from his daddy, right? So it's not like they're hurting.
No, they're definitely not hurting, but
yeah, I think they're
shared. What is it? Archwell or whatever.
Archwell. It's Archwell.
Yeah, they can't do anything with that right now.
What a bunch of losers. I mean, it's right. Then again, it's not like they know how to do actual adulting because neither one of them has ever done that ever.
Exactly. Well, I mean, know that they're saying, well, it's the check was lost in the mail. They're actually saying that.
Oh my God. I mean, this is the thing. Is Harry's just like, wait, we actually have to be accountable for things and jump through certain hoops to. This kid.
What if we just send you a basket with jam? Is that okay for submitting records?
Yeah. Wow. These kids, toddlers.
Cannot stand them. All right, let's talk about yesterday because Michael Cohen took the stand for the prosecution yesterday and lots of very different analysis and perspectives about how that went. And of course, we will share it all because if you're only watching one station or if you're only relying on one spot for news, then you might think one thing, but you need to understand that there are lots of varying opinions about how successful of a testimony he gave. First, we'll listen to Greg Jarrett of Fox News give his analysis.
But I will say that Cohen today failed to connect Trump to any crimes. And I know that prosecutors know that. So tomorrow they're going to try to change things, Sean. Cohen will probably do what he always does best. He'll lie. He'll say, oh, yes, Trump ordered me to falsely record these expenses as legal expenses. The trouble is that's going to be a tough sell because today he recounted all the legal actions he took that constituted legal expenses. I'm not sure he understood it because he's not a bright guy. The real test for Michael Cohen, Sean, will be cross-examination. The defense will spend a full day confronting him with his innumerable lies, and then they'll ask the question one by one. Were you lying then or are you lying now? And once these jurors, Sean, see some of the seething, unhinged lunatic rants by Cohen on TikTok, they're going to hate him. But the question is, do they hate Donald Trump more? Will they acquit because there's no evidence of crimes or convict for purely political reasons? That's what Alvin Bragg is counting on because, Sean, he has no case. Katie.
Why does he have a Superman shirt on, this guy?
Why does he do so many things?
And it's like an Animal House when the dean is like drunk and stupid is no way to go through life. This guy, you want to ask him like just stupid and being a liar is no way to go through life because everybody knows that he is a liar and that he is stupid. And like that's his brand now.
Yeah.
And it's like, and he still walks around and acts like he's something and you're not. It's like, just go fade into obscurity, dude. Cause you're such a joke.
Take Scaramucci with you. Cause that guy's still out there doing things.
Yeah. Dyeing his hair black and trying to be, just stop.
Well, but like I said, there's some people who are like, this is this is such a waste of time. I mean, the whole case is a waste of time, and we've talked about that endlessly. But the fact that there are still, legal analysts and people on MSNBC who are thinking that this is all moving in the exact right direction is just mind blowing. How you can see the same thing and have such a different viewpoint of it. So I'm not familiar with this host that is on MSNBC giving her take. I just cracked up because she called Michael Cohen's testimony and the prosecution's handling of it elegant.
Oh my
God.
Thought,
what a bizarre word to use about a court proceeding anyway, right? But here she is with her, you go, Michael Cohen analysis.
You were there.
It was elegant because the prosecution had done such an effective job of getting evidence entered in to the record, because remember, if it's not in the record, it can't be used. So to Lawrence's point, we saw this exhibit before. It had import through Jeff McConney, the former controller of the Trump organization. But to have the nuance added from Michael Cohen's testimony is what good trial lawyers do. You saw a well-executed plan from the Manhattan DA's office to allow the introduction of certain cell phone records, text messages, emails, bank statements. It all was the corroborating evidence that allowed Michael Cohen to stand on his own testimony and not have to worry that there was nothing underneath him in terms of a foundation to be able to talk about what happened, because his credibility, as we know, is going to be an issue. But we also didn't hear we heard very few objections today.
Yes, that was interesting in the
no
transcript.
Sidebars for an incredibly aggressive defense that we've seen.
God.
No objections. So what was the import of that? It was a free-flowing, well-paced, clean, succinct, direct examination today. Michael Cohen was afforded the opportunity to drive the narrative forward the way that the DA's office wanted him to do. And the jury was taking notes intensely. There were at least 3 of them that were feverishly taking notes and looking. And that's the last thing I would say. The visual aid of having that exhibit displayed on the screen, in addition to when the audio tape was played of the famous "I secretly recorded Donald Trump" thing, accompanied by the transcript, it is so effective because jurors just sit and they sit as we do, and then they see something and they feel the engagement. So when they go into the jury room to deliberate, People's 35 is something they're going to tangibly have, and they'll look at the handwriting, but more importantly, they'll see it matches with Essential Consultants, it matches with the 135, it matches the wire to Keith Davidson, it matches the gross up, everything fits. And then today they left to recess today, and the last thing they heard was Donald Trump participating in the conspiracy.
Does it matter?
Where do they get these biatches? Like, she's
so excited.
She's an actress. She's totally an actress. Like, she obviously was hired for her acting skills. That was remarkable to watch.
It was elegant. Actually,
it was completely elegant. Like, I think even at first, Rachel Maddow was like, I'm not buying.
Like, bitch, you need to calm down.
Like, it's like, this is crazy what she's doing. But you go, do it. Okay, do it. Because you're very convincing to the masses, to the lobotomized masses that are watching MSNBC. Oh my God. Wow.
Right? It was something. It was something.
Yeah, she was about as elegant as Rachel Maddow's femininity.
I mean, you can't ever, you can't guess what a jury's going to do, especially a Manhattan jury, right? Like, we don't know how biased they're going to be, but we do know that when it comes to legal analysis, there's not a whole lot of folks better than Jonathan Turley. And here is his perspective on yesterday.
The role here is quite telling because the government has yet to establish what are called the elements of any crime in this case. So they're at the end of their witness list, and it's now becoming apparent what the strategy is, and that is Bragg is relying on a motivated judge and a motivated jury to take him where he needs to go for conviction. But before he gets there, he has to be able to credibly argue that anyone said that there was direct evidence that Trump not only wanted to keep this silent, that's not a crime, but intentionally committed fraud, intentionally wanted this denotation as a legal expense to conceal a crime. Michael Cohen appears to be the person that he's going to do that. Now, you can look at that and say, but who would believe someone that just a few weeks ago was denounced as a serial perjurer by another judge?
Kind of a guy.
I mean, there's a credibility issue here.
You think? This is the thing that doesn't even come up on MSNBC. I mean, they just but then again, they also lie. So
Yeah.
and that network is just what a joke.
I know.
God. This whole thing is a sham. It's just a complete sham.
It really, really is.
It's just a political witch hunt, all of it.
And we have to talk about Laura Ingraham asked Eric Trump a really pointed question, and which I thought was a really necessary question that is long overdue. And Eric Trump does not answer it. You should know that in advance. And you're going to hear that in a minute, but not before I tell everybody this is the kind of news cycle that makes you need this calm mood.
I love that stuff.
From Healthy Cell. This is magic in a little gel pack, which first of all, it tastes delicious. This is like the lemon berry flavor. And this is just another thing from Healthy Cell. Excuse me, another supplement that is chock full of a whole bunch of different items that you might already be taking separately. So for example, if you're taking ashwagandha, L-theanine, GABA, 5-HTP, saffron, magnesium, B vitamins, vitamin D, you don't need to take all those separately. You can take them all in one delicious lemon berry gel pack called Calm Mood from Healthy Cell. This is amazing for stress relief and relaxation. It supports both of those things. And you're getting the equivalent of like 8 different pills in one gel pack that, by the way, absorbs into your system 165% better than any of those pills on their own, tablets, capsules, that any of them can be by your body. That's the miracle of Healthy Cell. It's why we love all of the stuff that we get from Healthy Cell. You can get it too. You can support the balance of your happy with Calm Mood from Healthy Cell. It's code CHICKS at healthycell.com/chicks. healthycell.com/chicks. Okay.
Do it.
So Laura Ingraham asks the question, why did your dad ever hire that loser? And because if you look at Michael Cohen's face, you can see the dumb, right? Like, it's not like he hides it.
He looks like
all over his face.
He looks like Droopy the dog. You know, remember the character? Remember that cartoon character? Am I wrong about that? I mean, that's who he reminds me of Droopy the dog. Yeah.
So Eric, he does some answering, but does he ever answer that question? Judge for yourself.
Here's when I met him a couple of times. And I don't want to be uncharitable toward anybody. I really don't. But he didn't seem impressive to me. And your father is an unbelievable judge of so many people and situations. How did he ever get hired? I call him Jughead, and that's kind of juvenile, I guess, but he seems like a jughead to me. So how did he ever get, if staff is so important, this guy was the go-to guy. Why?
Well, it's the very reason my father didn't want to take him to Washington, D.C. And by the way, he sat there for an hour today talking about how mad he was, right? He literally was sending text messages to people. I'm going to be chief of staff. I want to be chief of staff. He's lobbying for this. And
how much of this is resentment?
For attorney general. And then all of a sudden, my father doesn't want to take him to Washington, D.C. It's a lot of resentment. By the way, this guy's a convicted felon. He lost his law license. He went down the tubes because he was defrauding apparently financial institutions based on taxi cab medallions in his own personal life. But yet this is their star witness. Their star witness is a convicted felon, a guy who lost his law license, and a porn star. That's literally who Alvin Bragg wants to stack against the 45th and 47th, because he will be the 47th president of the United States.
He testified.
Yeah, I mean, Trump made a mistake with this guy.
He really made a mistake.
He made a mistake. People make mistakes, and he probably should have just said, my dad made a mistake, huge mistake with this guy.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's okay to say I made a mistake. I've made them. You've made them. We've all made them. Just say it.
I don't know why that's so hard. I mean,
it's really hard.
What I wish Trump would do on the whole, vaccine stuff too. I just wish he would say it. There's nothing wrong. In fact, I feel like it gains you more support when you're open to and willing to admit when you've screwed up.
Listen, with the vaccine thing, he didn't make a mistake trying to get it fast tracked. He did not make a mistake with that. And I am anti that vaccine. but I worked in pharma for a really long time. And the thing that he did that was right was trying to get it fast tracked, because there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with him trying to get, like, what he did with that was right, because all the hoops and everything that goes into making a vaccine. I mean, my God, getting the government out of that a little bit and trying to fast track that vaccine was the right thing to do. And he needs to focus on that. He needs to focus on his successes with that, and then say, but making people take it, you know what I mean? Like, that was, the government shouldn't have done that. And then
shutting down and all the closures, that was a mistake. Just say it.
Yeah, it's okay. He needs to have that conversation with the American people, and that's okay. And people will be like, okay, cool. But that conversation's never been had. And I wish you would have that conversation. Just talking about the vaccine, I know we're totally sidetracking, but still. But when it comes to hiring the schmuck, just say, yeah, I made a big mistake. That guy's a schmuck.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Well, and you know, it does speak to, unfortunately, a lot of mistakes that he makes about judging people, because how many people were in his cabinet that he now rips to shreds? How many people did he personally hire that he now rips to shreds? So there's something to be said about the fact that maybe he needs some help with helping put the right people around him, because he doesn't do a good job of that, as we've seen, or as he says. Like, there's so many people that he personally chose that he now hates and says terrible things about.
I don't think he's gonna do that this time around, though, because I think
like hire bad people. You mean?
Yeah, I don't think he will, especially from a political, because he got into politics, and I think he trusted a lot of the political people like he did in business. And politics is not business. And so I think he got stung bad the first time around. This time, he's not going to be as trusting.
Well, I hope that he doesn't go the opposite direction and rely too heavily on the Laura Loomers and the other weirdos that he's just super big fans of.
Or just his family. You know, you can't just have your family in there, which I think he tends to just really lean a lot on his, because that's who he can trust. I mean, the only people he can really trust is his family. So, which I don't blame him, because so many people have screwed him over. And my God, look at what's happening to him. But, he's got to let go a little bit of that. But I get it, because, man, political people are snakes. God. We've seen it. You and I have seen it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Mendy Owens, thank you. Mendy says 3X sold out last night. Okay, good to know. I will find out from our guy if that is going to be replenished, because I genuinely don't know. So that's good to know. If you're looking for 3X, I'll find out if they're going to be more of those. Kim Donaldson, thank you. Kim says, it's my 55th birthday. Happy birthday to you. And Buddha Cha 1, thank you. He says, have you all seen the Tingo Tango Mango little girl doing the pledge? She is so adorable. I know you'll want to name one of your events that. Also, please come to Northern Cali. We are not all bad. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen the Tingo Tango Mango girl. But it sounds adorable already. So we'll check that out. And Robin Zecca, thank you. Robin says Cohen got his law degree off of a pack of matches. I mean, honestly, that tracks. You know what I mean? Like that actually tracks. All right, let's move on, because today is going to be the really interesting day, right? Like, now it's going to be the cross-examination, and there should be some interesting stuff that comes out of that for sure. But we do need to talk about some new numbers that came out yesterday, and this is pretty extraordinary. So we learned yesterday that the UN is now blaming the fog of war for major overcounting of Gazan child deaths. So this was kind of a big story yesterday. There was reporting that the revision that was made, because of course Hamas is the one that's releasing the death toll figures. They cannot be trusted, obviously. And so now the revised death count shows a nearly 1-to-1 ratio between combatants and civilians, whereas all the college protesters and all of the pro-Palestinian folks are like, there's more civilians than combatants being killed. That's absolutely not true. And so not only, as Anthony Koch points out, not only is Israel not committing genocide, they have acted with greater precision than nearly every other state actor in a conflict in human history.
Oh, well, will you look at that? Go figure.
Look at it.
God. Right? And why on God's green earth would you look to Hamas to give you stats on this crap? What is wrong with you? Seriously, you need to have your head examined if you're looking to a terrorist group to give you proper data. What the hell?
And they just lap it up. They just take it and regurgitate it as if it's truth. And that is one of the big problems with allowing Hamas to dictate this narrative and then fill college kids' heads with this lie, this absolute lie.
Let me let the terrorists tell me what's what.
Right?
Okay.
Oh my God. Ridiculous. There is a legal director named Natasha Hausdorff who gave testimony yesterday about this ratio. And I was so blown away by her, first of all, because she's absolutely gorgeous, but secondly, because she's so eloquent in talking about this issue. I'll let you hear for yourself. Natasha Hausdorff.
Well, there are a few other matters, if I may. I've come back to the casualty figures ratio. This is critical because it is the basis upon which it seems all of these allegations are being levied. The reason it's important to have an understanding of how badly wrong, fabricated, manipulated the casualty figures are is because it informs necessarily the casualty ratio that we see in Gaza as regards other armed conflicts around the world. Now, the UN statistics put the civilian to combatant ratio on general armed conflict at a very disturbing 9 civilians to every 1 combatant. For the United States authorities, health authorities in Afghanistan and Iraq, it was 3 to 1 and 5 to 1. Even taking into account the false figures that I've addressed, on any account, because Israel...
Colonel Camptono.
Indeed, and I would invite you to do so because he has clear experience of this. Yeah. May I just finish this point because it's one I've begun 3 times previously. The casualty figures in this war, in the context of intense urban armed conflict, are unprecedented at around 1 to 1. And that puts the lie to what we have been hearing about indiscriminate strikes or disproportionality, bearing in mind, of course, that it is not an effects-based analysis but intention.
I mean, I'm sorry, but I have a huge crush on her.
Yeah. Mock has a girl crush.
I do. I mean, the accent and just like her calmness and like the way that she says all the things.
And she's like,
I'm kind of in love with her.
Respect my authority. Yeah.
An Israeli spokesperson also not pleased with how, I mean, obviously pleased with the numbers being corrected, but not pleased with how the lie has been propagated.
Yeah, the spin, all the spin out there.
I would like to take on the issue of civilian casualties. From day one in this war, Hamas has provided statistics to global media who have copied and pasted them as if they were coming from a reliable source. Despite our protest, this has continued for nearly 8 months, and it spits in the face of our brave heroes who have paid the ultimate price to fight this just and moral war. It's time to put this to bed. Let me make it clear. Every civilian casualty is a tragedy. That would not have happened if Hamas hadn't insisted on using their own people as human shields.
Yep. That's a big old yep. I swear, nobody else will be putting up with this except for Israel. You know,
I know. I hate how much they are constantly attacked for their response to things when they are the ones being constantly attacked.
Right.
Like this.
Also, just a reminder: where are the hostages?
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
There's Americans there too, just FYI.
Yeah, everybody's forgotten about them.
Again, every day. Yep.
W. Bernard, thank you. W says, hey, crazy chicks. My sister Kim and I love you both. And today is her birthday. Woohoo! Have an amazing day. Well, happy birthday to your sister
birthday.
Kim. Is that the same Kim? Like, is it the same? Is Kim Donaldson your sister, or is it a whole other Kim? I don't know. But like, happy birthday to all the Kims who are celebrating birthdays.
Every last Kim.
Every last Kim. Jake Sullivan made a comment yesterday, which I thought was very, very interesting, given that this administration is so hell bent on appeasing the campus protesters. But Jake Sullivan made a statement that goes completely counter to everything that those campus protesters are in fact saying. And I wonder how this is going to play. Listen to this.
We believe Israel can and must do more to ensure the protection and well-being of innocent civilians. We do not believe what is happening in Gaza is a genocide. We have been firmly on record rejecting that proposition.
Oh,
that's
okay.
God. They need to get their shit together. This administration,
right?
I mean, they really do need to have a cohesive statement. When it comes to comms, they are a disaster. Absolute disaster. They are all over the place.
Even in that little tiny 20-second clip,
yeah,
where he's like, we really think they need to try harder to reduce civilian casualties. Well, the new numbers are out, Jake, and it's looking pretty darn good for wartime.
And why doesn't Biden say that? If you're saying that, why doesn't Biden say that? Why doesn't KJP say that? They all need to be saying the same thing. It's called a cohesive comms plan. Like, they need to be talking to one another about how they feel about this stuff, and then they're just a disaster. I mean, it's like a company wouldn't do this. Why does the administration do this? What a joke we are. What a joke we are to other countries. Biden is such a freaking joke. Such a clown. He's a clown.
Yeah. Well, we have a lot more on this issue, but we also want to make sure that if you haven't gotten your mattress topper yet from mypillow.com/chicks, they are 50% off right now. This is the thing that makes your not so great mattress feel like a super great mattress.
It's the greatest. Don't spend money on like a $3,000. You guys, I used to have one of those $3,000 mattresses. I got one of those and I took it back. Because I was like, this is the biggest waste of money. It sucked. I hated it. I was like, this is dumb. I totally regret it. I took it back, got my money back, and I got one of these instead. True story.
And 50% off. That's amazing. So they also, you should know, if you are not familiar with their mattress toppers, they are made up of 3 unique layers. They have the memory foam, the premium memory foam. They've got the MyPillow support foam. They have QDS moisture wicking fabric covers, which are zippered and removable. And they have non-skid backing fabric. So this is the real deal. Like, if you're looking for a super high quality mattress topper, you're not going to do better than mypillow.com/chicks. And it's ever so important to support Mike Lindell and his fantastic company, because you've probably heard a million examples of all of the retail partners that they used to have that they no longer have, just because, Mike Lindell is considered to be ostracized or whatever. He's too Trumpy for all these retailers. And so the best way to support us and him, obviously, is to get yourself something amazing from mypillow.com/chicks. Again, 50% off the mattress toppers, but also huge sales on so many other things. And you can see all the discounted items when you go to mypillow.com/chicks. All right. In case you were wondering about Egypt and what's going on with the access of Gazans across the Egypt border, that's not happening. So they are refusing to allow any humanitarian aid into Gaza, and they are refusing to allow Palestinian refugees to exit Gaza. Of course, Biden's thinking about taking some of these folks in, which is a terrible idea.
Totally.
But the people that should be taking them in are absolutely not. And those are the surrounding countries. That's why every time the freaking Queen of Jordan gets on her soapbox, I'm always so irritated by her.
Yep.
Because how dare she? You know what I mean? How dare she?
And and this is what our leaders, the Bidens, the Blinkens, all these jackholes should be saying exactly that. They should be saying that. They should be calling this out. Why? Why aren't you doing it? Why should we do it?
Exactly. And especially when so many of them have openly said they hate our country. Right. Death to America, death to Israel. That's what they say.
Yeah, in light of all the things that we played yesterday, and all the people that seriously, they are here, they're in Moss, they're in like cities that you live in, and they're saying these sorts of things. Why would we take more of these people that hate us when the countries around them are like, yeah, nah, we're good.
Yeah,
We're good. We don't want them. We don't want them. What are we doing?
I don't know.
And plus we're full. I don't know if anybody knows that we're full. I know we have I think we have a clip today that we're going to be playing. Where like there was somebody from the one of the immigration departments is saying that we have 30 million illegals in this country. 30 million. That's the number. You guys, it's just unsustainable.
And that's probably just what we know. Imagine all the ones that we don't know about.
It's nuts. 30 million.
Autumn on Venmo. Thank you, Autumn. She says, kind of got a girl crush on you guys. Can't wait to finally meet you at Meet and Greet.
We can't wait to meet you.
That's so exciting. Unfortunately, there are other world leaders who completely deny the fact that Hamas is even a terrorist group. So the president of Turkey, he is one of them. Erdogan, I think is how you say his name, even though there's a G in it. And I don't understand Turkish and like that language and why G's just disappear and turn into W's. I don't understand.
What did the G ever do? What did the G ever do to him?
Right? Like why is it pronounced that? I don't understand that at all. But it is. And he, not only does he take offense at Hamas being referred to as a terror organization, but it turns out Turkey is taking care of 1,000 Hamas fighters in their hospitals right now, which would beg the question, how did they get there?
Yeah.
How did Hamas soldiers get to Turkey?
Mm-hmm. Like who? Yeah. Who did that? Who funded it? Yeah, exactly. No, I absolutely agree. People, you think that somebody would be asking that question. Somebody in the current administration would be asking that question.
Yeah.
Or other questions.
Because I guarantee it has something to do with some tunnels, and it might have something to do with the fact that Egypt has now all of a sudden shut down their borders, even for humanitarian aid. It's almost like Egypt doesn't want anybody to know how they've been playing their role here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying I know that. I'm just saying it all seems very sus.
Yeah, it's like, can somebody please ask some follow-up questions? Maybe.
Right? So here is the Turkish president to tell you how offended he is when you call Hamas a terror group. He doesn't like it. Doesn't like it.
It is not a terror organization, but if you state it as a terror group here, that would be upsetting. I never see Hamas as a terror organization.
Is he upset?
And as of now, step by step, I am following Hamas. And in my country, right now, more than 1,000 members of Hamas are in our hospitals, are being treated.
I'm sorry. I beg every pardon. Like, how are they there? How?
Right. Yeah.
What in the world?
This next clip just completely freaks me out.
Yeah, it should, especially because this fellow that you see on your screen is an American, and he has a message for all of us and for Trump and for Biden. And here is the message.
Islam will enter every household, whether you like it or not. Donald Trump, inshallah, soon you will see we have a plan in place to go visit him and call him toward Islam. Inshallah, if Biden is awake, we'll also go and visit him, inshallah. And others, Brother Bobby, may Allah make it soon, inshallah, we'll be seeing his shahada. And others, Sneeko and others, we're going to be reaching out to everybody. As Muslim, as an ummah, we're going to be reaching out. And you're going to be seeing more and more of these types of people who know that this society and the direction that it's going in is not the right direction, are going to be coming to Islam.
Right. You try entering my household. We'll see what happens. You just try doing that and we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Unfortunately, they have like all these useful idiots that are just, they're like handing themselves right over.
Well, I mean, they can enter their households. They can do that, but you're not coming in mine.
My God.
Not going to happen.
Terrifying. Meg Prescott, thank you. Meg says Jake Sullivan's wife is running for Congress in New Hampshire. Pray for the on life support or die state. Yeah, we talked about her a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's all in the family, right? All in the family. And then over on locals, Genius the First sent a tip saying at 340 million for the U.S. population and 30 million illegals, that makes it just over one 1 in 11 people
Yeah.
are illegal.
Yeah.
That's a terrifying number.
Yeah. I'd say that we're like, I'd say that we're close to like 1 in 10 are illegal. I feel like that's a problem.
I feel like that's a problem.
Yeah. And when we first started this whole Chicks on the Right thing 15 years ago, we used to talk all the time about the takers are outweighing the makers. We're there. Like the scales are going to tip. The scales are tipping. I mean, to the point where like when I say it's unsustainable, we're at that point. Like economically, we're at that point. Logistically, we're at that point. It's going to tip. I think people think, oh no, it's totally fine. You just keep paying taxes. It's not going to work out. Like it will eventually destroy us from within. Not to mention from a crime standpoint, from we can't sustain it, you guys. We can't.
I don't know if you guys have heard about this movie that like Sheryl Sandberg has been involved with. It's called Screams Before Silence, and it shows in graphic detail the events of October 7th. And so many people, I mean, I know there's a lot of journalists who have seen that footage unedited and it's changed them forever, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'm assuming that some of that same footage is included in this film. But they went around to various campuses to show, I don't know if it was just the trailer or a bunch of parts of the film to various students who were interested in seeing it. And so here is some of that reaction.
Sexual violence was used as a weapon of war against women on October 7th, but many people say it never happened. We're here to show them it did. The video you're about to see, it's gruesome. It's what happened on October 7th. The video was recorded by Hamas. These are people being kidnapped.
A lot of people are denying the atrocity that happened on October 7th to Israeli women. So that's the reason we're here.
Girls without skirts, without pants, they were abused.
A lot of the bodies were naked, totally. You couldn't identify if it's a man or a woman.
How do you feel after seeing that?
It kind of hurts.
It's heartbreaking. It really is.
Disheartening to say the least.
People don't deserve that.
It's so sad to see that.
People don't believe this happened when there's living proof right here.
It's pretty awful. You know, you can't say that this didn't happen.
There is no gray area here. Hamas needs to just back away and stop the horrible things they're doing.
When people deny this, will you advocate for Jewish women after what you saw?
You don't deserve a death that brutal and tragic.
I have this necklace. It says in Hebrew, bring them home. See you wearing that with kafia. It's like the word piece that we're looking for.
I think this is eye-opening. I think a lot of people don't understand anything about what's happening to women on the other side.
No, they don't.
No. And I listen, and people will be like, why do you guys talk about this? Like, why do you, and I see on Twitter all the time, because, you know, we're online all day, and people will be like, this stuff doesn't matter. And this is Israel's problem. It's not you and we're separate than Israel. Okay. We're next. That's why it matters to me.
Of course.
I mean, it matters to me also from a human standpoint, because I believe in humanity, and what happened to the Israeli people is an absolute atrocity, and they've suffered atrocities forever. But beyond that, like we just showed you that whatever that dude is, I don't even know what his title is. That's here, an imam, whatever, in the United States, that is like, we're going to enter all your homes. And that's the thing. I truly believe that we're next. If you don't think that we're next, you're not paying attention.
They are not listening to what they are saying.
Right. They're saying the words are coming out of their faces, and it's the long game for these people. And they hate Israel and they hate America. And so we're next. You know, it's like it's your daughters, and you and your daughters are next. That's what they want. And if you think otherwise, then you're not paying attention. So.
And that's why we're going to keep talking about it. So
we're going to keep talking about it. Mm-hmm.
You remember the Princeton hunger strikers? Turns out they are not striking anymore. They're going in shifts, or they're not doing their hunger thing anymore. Like after several days, they decided maybe we should just rotate people to do the intermittent fasting. So that's what they're doing now. They've got like like rotating fasters, essentially.
I swear. I mean, people do intermittent fasting every day.
I know.
It's like And we're supposed to feel it's not a hunger strike. It's just a way of life for some people. You know what I mean? Like, do something else. Find something else to do, Princeton kids.
I mean, it's just so silly. So silly. Okay, I think we got another Venmo, and for some reason, why isn't it showing up? I saw it. Oh, there it is. It's from Lori Mazamuro, who says, "Good morning, chick. Someone needs to tell that guy that every knee will bow and every tongue confess that Jesus Christ is Lord." That's what Lori says on Venmo. Thank you very much for that. An alum from Penn University decided to go with attorneys to the encampment that's currently there, which is of course illegal, to find out if he would be allowed in to the illegal encampment. And so he wanted to bring attorneys who could then back up his claim to these morons. You don't have any legal standing to prevent me from entering your encampment. And here is how that went.
Just struck me with an umbrella. You're really blocking me. Hello, I'm Zach Sage Fox at my alma mater, the University of Pennsylvania. I'm going to go check out the encampment.
We're asking folks not to film inside the...
Do you have any legal right to say that?
I don't know if I do.
All right, you guys will be hearing from my lawyers.
Dude?
What are your thoughts? Do they have any right to tell me I can't come in?
It's university property. That's not valid.
Want to violate the consent of a ton of people.
Aren't you guys violating the consent of the university who's asked you guys not to be here?
There's a students.
Are you a student?
I'm here to support students.
When they're talking about outside agitators, you are the outside agitator. Okay, who here's actually a student? You're clearly a 45-year-old man.
I'm a legal observer.
You're not a lawyer.
I'm asking you not to go in there.
There's no right to privacy.
You want to violate the consent of...
There's no consent on property that's not theirs.
I have the right to walk around the campus. Now you're blasting music in front of the library. They're setting up an illegal encampment. I'm just trying to walk around. There's an actual sign right there that we've already filmed from the university. Ow! Just struck me with an umbrella. Is this harassment and intimidation?
Well, if there's an intent to strike.
From a legal perspective, are they allowed to intimidate me, not let me in?
No, Title VI absolutely says this is not allowed. This intimidation, and it's based on our race or ethnicity.
I would consider this harassment. You're really blocking me. All right. Well, they have no facts on their side, and they certainly don't have any law. But they certainly have loud f***ing music. I'll see you next time on Jew Hatred 101.
What's...
I miss the 80s.
Yeah, good times.
I miss the 80s and 90s, you know, when people weren't assholes. They just, you know, if there was a protest, it was just like a little protest. People, you know, people just weren't like they are now.
Or they didn't get as much coverage. I mean, I think there have always been assholes.
There's always been assholes, but it wasn't to this extreme. And people have just gotten completely out of control. These kids are just entitled. They're stupid now. I mean, I honestly think that people have gotten dumber.
For sure.
That people have gotten really, really ignorant and stupid. They don't know what they're protesting. They don't even know what they're doing out there. And it's when you put ignorant, stupid people, and it's like it becomes like a big forest fire. It just becomes out of control. And I weep, you know, for like the future of and then you put 45-year-old men in the mix, and like you got stupid old.
I don't think. See, I tend to think that the kids are dumb. I don't know that they're worse than ever. I mean, they're terrible. But I think what's gotten worse is university administrations have gotten weak, and they acquiesce to all of these idiots. Right. And it used to be that universities would not tolerate this nonsense, and they would put a stop to it, which many universities have done. Namely, in Florida, they don't put up with this shit. All these universities, Penn could just call in the police to remove the encampment. They won't do it. So they can put up their little no trespassing signs. It's obviously not working. So when they don't have consequences, why would they leave? They're not going to leave just because you said, I put up a sign. No, they need to be forced out and shown that this will not be tolerated.
Right.
We're tolerating it now.
It's like, well, I mean, I think that's a microcosm for parenting. Look at all the kids that are there that are protesting that don't know what the hell they're protesting. They were raised by parents who are just like the administrators at these universities. I mean, it literally is a microcosm for the way that these kids were parented by absolute weak ass parents who didn't parent these kids properly. I mean, honestly, a lot of them, maybe not all. I mean, some of them probably had decent parents, and then they like lost the kids once they got to college, and then they're being now raised by these administrators. But 80% of those kids were raised by weak ass parents. I said it. It's true.
Genius the First sent another tip saying about the hunger strikers that they're just doing a weight loss program, which is pretty much true. That's all they're really doing.
Yeah, or just like a lot of people intermittent fast. It's like you're not doing anything special. Get over yourself.
Karen Elliott, thank you. Karen says, hey, all, asking the chicks community for all the prayers. Tomorrow is my birthday, and I see the surgeon asking for the best birthday gift that he will perform my hernia surgery so I can laugh along with all of you again.
Prayers for you,
Karen. And
happy
Connie Cannell.
birthday.
Yes, happy birthday. Connie Cannell, thank you. Connie says, kind of like a food train, they are having a hungry train. Happy Tuesday, chicks. Thank you so much for that. Joe Rogan on his program talked about just the blatant anti-Semitism that we're seeing across campus. Here he is.
Crazy to me is, regardless of how you feel about how the Israeli military and the army is pursuing the war in Gaza, regardless of that, the blatant, just out in the open anti-Semitism that we see today is like nothing I've ever seen before. Like roaches coming out of the woodwork. Yep. Like what? Like you see it all over social media, and it's like this. If this was September and not October, like if this is just, you would be shunned. Everybody would be like, "This is horrible. How the fuck could you say this? How are you? You're openly anti-Semitic. You're openly blaming the Jews for all the world's problems. This is crazy.
Right?
This is Nazi shit, and yet you're seeing it everywhere now. When those teachers were in front of Congress, when those principals of those universities were in front of Congress, and they were saying that it's not harassment to say death to the Jews unless it's actionable, which is the craziest mental verbal gymnastics I have ever heard anyone say that's in that position, in a position of being the head of Harvard. It was so crazy to watch. It's so crazy to see. It's almost like we live in an alternative timeline. Like we entered into a new dimension. Like in our sleep, we woke up, but we're in a new place.
Yep. He's so right. I mean, like take out Jewish people and put in Black people. What is even happening in our world? Yeah. What is even? And he's right. It's like we woke up and in a different dimension, a different time and space. What is even happening? I mean, like my 14-year-old daughter we'll have conversations about this. We've had a few, and she's like, so what's going on? And I'll try to explain it to her. It's hard for me to even try to explain to her what's going on because she's like, wait, so they don't like them because they're Jewish? And I'm like, yeah, because they're Jewish. Yep. But that's what happened like back during World War II with the Nazis. Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. That's what Hitler did. Yeah, that's right. That's what's happening on college campuses right now. I mean, trying to explain that to a 14-year-old, and it's like the absurdity of it. Mm-hmm. Even she's like, that's messed up, Mom. Yeah, it is messed up, isn't it? Like, so hopefully your generation will change it. Because I don't know what's happened to the generation before you, because they're all sorts of messed up. It's beyond the pale. I don't know. It's crazy.
It is. It's absolutely nuts. Which is why Joe Rogan is just like,
we're all like that. Anybody with a brain is like, what is even going on?
Mm-hmm. I'm about to disappoint a lot of Bill Burr fans, unfortunately, but I know. So you're going to see Bill Burr talking with Bill Maher, and Bill Burr, always very spot on when it comes to woke issues, right? Mm-hmm. But for some inexplicable reason, when Bill Maher asks him, like his take on this whole campus thing, he says that he is on the side of the kids. And I can't believe that in a 2-minute clip, I am on Bill Maher's side, like against Bill Burr, who, by the way, is just awful to him. Like he insults him just right to his face. But Bill Maher is on the right side of this issue. And this is such a disappointment for Bill Burr fans, but here it is.
You don't realize that college campuses erupted with the kids demonstrating for Hamas? They are in with the terrorists.
They were for the Palestinians.
Oh, my God.
Well, it's sort of the same cause. Why? Are you?
I'm on the side of the kids.
Yeah, that's easy to say. You know, no one wants to see kids dead. This is a war.
That was very brave of you to say that.
This is a war. No, I'm the one who's actually brave on this.
Pat yourself on the back.
It's easy to say I'm for the kids. Who's not for the kids?
Well,
it comes down to real hard-nosed decisions. Like a country.
Stop talking like you're a general.
A country got attacked. Israel got attacked.
I'm not saying that they didn't have a right to go back. I'm just sitting there going like, how do I look at what?
We're the only country in the world that they get attacked, and then as soon as they counterattack, it's like, well, we got to stop this shit now. Don't attack them. There's a very simple solution to all this problem in the Middle East. Stop attacking Israel.
Hey, you
Stop
just solved
attacking
it.
Israel.
You just
I did.
solved it.
I actually
there
did.
You go. That's fantastic.
Anyway.
All right.
We don't need to get onto that.
Let's go to Russia and the Ukraine. How do you solve that one, Bill? Let me hear your hard-nosed decision about that. Well, let me ask you a question. How is war still legal? With all this shit that's been canceled.
Legal.
Why is that still fucking legal?
Would you like a real answer to that? Because for something to be illegal, you have to have the capacity to enforce it. And you can't enforce against war, or else you have to go to war with the country that's going to war. And we don't want to go to war with Russia over Ukraine. What would be the sense of making it illegal? Oh, that's really going to stop Putin. No. To stop people from going to war, you have to also put boots.
Can't sit down and talk it out. Why can't Putin do a podcast with the head guy?
Oh my God.
Like, you just solved the Middle East on a podcast. Why can't they solve what they're doing on a podcast?
This is why this is not your thing.
Make some hard-nosed decisions.
This is my
It's not your thing. It's what you.
It is my thing.
It isn't your thing.
This is not your thing.
You're like that guy that has a fantasy football team and thinks he's a fucking GM.
No.
That's exactly what it is. Like, why am I fucking listening to you like you've done something? What have you done in Washington? Nothing.
He sounded like the dumbest asshole in that.
I know. It's
and
such
I
a
usually
disappointment.
Yeah, and it was a huge disappointment. And I've I usually I like a little bit of his comedy. Bill Burr, some people don't know who he is, but he's like usually non-woke comedy. And he can be kind of funny, but that was awful. He sounded.
And that's who he is. Like, that's not a show. That's him just being Bill Burr. So
God, what an idiot.
It's a disappointment.
Why can't we make war illegal? What kind of a question is that, you moron? Good Lord.
No, I hate to disappoint people, but I didn't want to be disappointed all by myself. So
yeah, I mean, I know art is different than reality, right?
Yeah. Michelle Boyd, thank you. Michelle says, I'm 60 in July and have been doing intermittent fasting for 10 years. Does that make me tough? LOL.
I mean, are you
better than
Princeton? Are you okay? We need to check her vitals. Is she okay?
Send a medic.
I
know. Stephanie Mum, thank you. Stephanie says, about the Wreck-It Room, only the government BS makes me ragey. Otherwise, I'm an annoyingly happy person. Just needed to clarify. Those biatches were a little crazy. Yeah, from yesterday, we played the Rage Room or the Wreck-It Rooms.
Yeah, what in the world?
And Stuart the Brit, thank you. Stuart says, when I used to read the Bible, I couldn't understand what it meant. 50% will stay, 50% will leave. Look at us now and our culture. Praise be. Thank you, Stuart. All right, let's move on because Kamala had herself a moment. I think she got the message from her comms team. Hey, we're struggling with young people right now. So if you could go ahead and drop an F-bomb, I think that'll help. I think that'll endear you to the young crowd. So she dropped it. Now, keep in mind, this was after about 2 minutes of her doing that. You know how she gets that affect to her speech when she thinks she's being really profound?
Yes.
She's over pronouncing words. So she does that for a good 2 minutes before what you're about to hear. This is the tail end of her profundity.
And so your voice can be strong. It is, as Alicia said, my mother would say to me, don't you ever let anybody tell you who you are. You tell them who you are.
Oh, my God.
Don't ever carry as a personal burden
the unburdened
your capacity to do whatever you dream and aspire to do based on other people's limited ability to see who can do what.
Oh my God.
This is part of what's involved.
Tony Robbins.
Is that we have to know that sometimes people will open the door for you and leave it open. Sometimes they won't. And then you need to kick that fucking door down.
Okay.
Excuse my language.
Okay.
We're going to make t-shirts with that saying, kick the fucking door down.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. Total cringe. You know, such class. Just as I'd expect from this administration, has like topless transgenders on the front lawn of the White House. Right. It's class.
Well, I mean, class. You know, Trump drops all the foul language too, and we celebrate it and cheer it. So, I mean, I guess this is fine. Like, it's fine. It's so out of character for her. And I think that's what makes it so off-putting, is that she's trying to be in this moment where she's like instilling all this powerful wisdom. And then she does that and then laughs maniacally at herself.
I don't know. I still don't like it. I think there's a time and a place. It's one thing for Trump to do it, like on the campaign trail, like throwing a bullshit in there once in a while, but like dropping the F-bomb, I don't know. There's just like a time and a place. It's kind of like, you know, I say bad words here on this podcast, but when I worked in corporate America, I would never dream of doing that. I mean, there was a certain decorum. Like, I conducted myself in a certain way when I worked in corporate America for 25 years. Never did that. Never did it. I mean, I wore pantyhose, for crying out loud. You know, I didn't do it. I knew how to conduct myself on a daily basis. I didn't do it. I mean, you remember when we got into radio and it was like a frat house in that place. It was like, I remember like the first couple weeks when we worked in radio, what was David? David was like our operations manager, our program director. We had a running joke because I was like, permission to pee, boss, like Red in Shawshank. Because I like asked permission to do things, because I almost had to be deprogrammed from corporate America working in radio, because I was so conditioned to be a certain way because I worked in a very strict corporate environment for so long. And there's something to be said for that. I mean, I think you conduct yourself a certain way in certain situations. And she is the vice president of the United States. I mean, listen, it's okay to have a potty mouth. I'm not saying that I'm judging you if you do that outside of certain places, because drop an F-bomb, that's fine. You can do that in certain places, that's fine. But don't do it as the vice president, like on C-SPAN, you know? I mean, am I wrong about that? I just don't think there's a time and a place for an F-bomb. And when I think it was one of those things that was planned. I think this was strategy, and I think it's working in the right way, that they want the people that think this is cool. That's who they want voting for them. Right? I don't think it's cool. I don't think it's cool. I think it's classless. I mean, again, like I said, I have a podcast. It's different for us in a podcast situation, but when I was in corporate America, I just wouldn't do it. So I think it's classless. I do.
But then it has to be classless all the time, whether it's Trump on a campaign trail or Kamala, right?
When Trump is in a situation where is this campaigning? Is she campaigning?
That's all she does anymore. She just does things to campaign for Biden.
She's doing her job. I mean, I would hope that when Trump is in a situation, if and when he becomes president again, he's not dropping the F-bomb when he's actually president of the United States in a presidential position. You know, I hope that if Doug Burgum becomes vice president, he's not dropping the F-bomb when he's out there representing as vice president all the time. It's different when I think certain situations call for it and certain situations don't. I just time and place, man. Time and place. That's all.
Well, Biden believes that Kamala is, between the two of them, the smarter of the two. And he said as much when he announced, as he was introducing her yesterday, that he works for her.
My name's Joe Biden. I work for Kamala Harris. I asked her to be my vice president because I knew I needed somebody smarter than me. Folks.
That actually happened.
He doesn't work for her. He works for Obama and Valerie Jarrett and whoever else is pulling the strings, because Lord knows he's not working for the American people.
That's what he's supposed to be doing.
Yeah, he should be working for. He's working for a bunch of people that are behind the scenes pulling his puppet strings. We all know that now.
Thank you, C Noon. C Noon says Bill Burr, after COVID, turned into total biatch. He's totally woke. His last special, he went off on people who refused the jab. Wow. So he's gone off deep end.
Off the deep end, yeah.
And Jose Rodriguez, thank you. Jose says, I'd love to see the COTR do a weed-influenced segment like the Bill Burr one.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think that's probably a terrible idea.
Probably not going to happen.
But speaking of them trying to appeal to young people, KJP was asked directly in her presser yesterday, hey, you're not polling so great with young people. Like, do you have a plan, a new strategy, a way that you're going to attempt to get back in their favor? And instead of saying, yeah, here's what we're going to do, she just denies that that's the reality.
Some recent polls, and I know you've said the president doesn't govern looking at polls, but some have shown his popularity eroding amongst young people and also non-whites, and it's not only related to Israel. Is he aware of that? Is he going to try to refocus his messaging or tweak it to speak directly to those groups that have felt left behind?
So look, and I look, going to be mindful about this upcoming election. Not going to comment about that, the 2024 election, or how these polls will affect the 2024 election. Going to be super mindful, but more broadly, we believe that young Americans support the president's agenda more broadly, right? In an overwhelming way.
So, really? But they don't, which is what the question actually was.
They've supported him more broadly. Okay. Yeah. Because he's basically bribed them with free tuition, right? And he's had to do that because his policies suck. They suck so hard and the economy is tanking and they know that. And listen, kids are going to be dumb for a certain period of time. And then they're going to start feeling it.
Right.
Then they're going to be like
personal.
Then it's personal. Yeah. I mean, kids are dumb. And then they're like, wait, oh my God, I can't afford this. I can't afford that. I can't afford to like move out of my parents' basement. And then it hurts them. And then when it hurts them, they're like, wait, that guy is the cause of it. I hate that guy. I hate that guy and I hate his policies. And and they start figuring crap out. And then when they start figuring it out, they're going to turn on you. And a lot of these kids are turning on him. And that's why yesterday when we noticed, like during Trump's rally, some of those faces in the crowd were young people, which is a really wonderful thing, right? I mean, you start figuring stuff out. You start learning that adults are, I started figuring it out in my teen years that some of the adults in your life are not as smart as you thought they were. You know what I mean? And you start looking around and you're like, okay, well, that guy is causing me some pain. And this is what's happening to a lot of these young people. And they're going to turn and they're turning and they don't like this and they're starting to freak out.
Well, and KJP she's always like stalling for time when she says, well, I'm going to be really mindful of the Hatch Act and not speak directly to the election. It's all a stall tactic. Every aspect that she has, all of these are just tricks that she uses to stall or just avoid answering questions altogether. And there was another question that she got, which was, do we spend too much money? Because I know there's a lot of talking about taxes, who's going to raise them, who's going to lower them. Are we spending too much money? And anyway, you'll see how she
Buffett this month said that taxes will have to be raised to pay for the national debt.
My God.
He said the government may want to decrease spending. So we've had announcement after announcement of taxpayer money being doled out. We've seen almost weekly now. Is the federal government spending too much money?
So let me just say a couple things that Warren Buffett did say that we certainly agree with, and I'll quote him: the wealthy are definitely undertaxed relative to the general population, which is why the president has a plan to make sure that wealthiest among us, the billionaires and big corporations, pay their fair share. And we've been very clear about that. They pay their fair share in order to pay for his investments in America and cut the deficit by $3 trillion. And why?
It's never about the spending. It's always about taxing. Always. It's fair share. I mean, they are spending too much. If your household was spending too much, what would you do? You would cut back on spending. These people, Democrats never want to talk about how much they're spending. It's just constantly this all the time, always. And it's like, oh my God, the wealthy are undertaxed. Are you freaking kidding me?
And can somebody finally say the definition of fair share?
Right.
Because the wealthy are already paying the lion's share of taxes. So when are they going to explain what that actually means?
Yeah. And why are we spending so much on illegals?
Right.
and Ukrainian pensions and every other damn thing that we spend money on that we shouldn't be spending money on. God, cut the fat, man.
Nancy Pelosi recently went to debate in the UK, and it was such a disaster for her. So the whole debate was about populism, and she was all about, Trump denies elections. And then this guy that is coming back at her talks about how many other Democrats have denied election results, including Nancy Pelosi. And that's why this clip is such a beauty to watch.
Why does everybody here say to me, what happens if he gets elected? Well, you can't let that happen, because for us, this election is Washington crossing the Delaware.
A few moments later.
You may be thinking now that Trump is a populist. You are right. He didn't accept the 2020 elections, and he should have. So should Hillary in 2016, so should Brussels, and so should Westminster in 2016, and so too should Congresswoman Pelosi, instead of saying the 2016 election was, quote, hijacked. Quote, hijacked.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
She walked right into that, man. It was
He's
glorious.
just horrific. She'll never ever say she was wrong, ever. And if you put her in a straitjacket where she actually belongs, could she still communicate without her hands?
Oh my gosh, she's so violent.
I mean, seriously, she cannot talk without going like, what is that? It drives me crazy.
It's just so violent. Like, I get talking with my I think I talk with my hands to some degree, but that is like psychotic.
It is. She is choppy hands McBotox.
RFK Jr. put out, by the way, he made it onto your state ballot, and he's working on getting everywhere. But just yesterday, he is now on the Texas ballot officially. He got his signatures turned in for that. Nobody expects him to not be on all of the ballots by election day. And, he's not somebody I'm going to vote for. This is not somebody that this show supports in any way. However, he is right that it is wrong that Biden refuses Secret Service protection for him. It's absolutely crazy.
I agree with that.
And he put out a video just asking for people to support a petition that is simply requesting the right Secret Service protection for him and his family. Here is his plea.
Hey, everybody. You might have heard that yet another intruder broke into my house this week and then returned to my house again shortly after the police released him. Last month, an armed gunman using falsified U.S. Marshal badges and phony federal ID and carrying an arsenal in his backpack tried to approach me at a speech in Los Angeles, a short distance from where my dad was assassinated.
Jeez.
I don't want to make too big a deal of it, except that it highlights the need for Secret Service protection. Every presidential candidate since the 1970s who's asked for Secret Service protection has received it, including my uncle, Edward Kennedy, Walter Mondale, John Glenn, Gary Hart, George McGovern, Bill Clinton, George Bush, John Kerry, Mitt Romney, Bernie Sanders, and many, many others. They've all received early Secret Service protection. Barack Obama received protection almost 2 years before the election. However, President Biden has made the historic decision to deny me a Secret Service detail. I'm the only one in history whose request has ever been denied. I'm troubled mostly by the weaponization of federal law enforcement agencies to serve political agendas. It's not right for the president to provide protection for his family and political favorites while denying it to his political rivals. You can't have a functioning democracy when candidates aren't safe. Elections and not assassinations are supposed to decide who takes office in America. In its threat assessment, the Secret Service concluded that I am at an elevated risk. The decision, therefore, to deny me protection was a naked political calculation. During his first week as Attorney General, my father assembled all the Department of Justice senior prosecutors to tell them that he would not tolerate any politicization of law enforcement. President Biden displays a bust of my father in the Oval Office, but he seems to have forgotten this critical tenet of American democracy. I'm reaching out to you today to help send a message to the Biden White House. The time has come for public pressure to make the White House do the right thing. That's why I'm asking you to sign a petition to President Biden calling on him to grant me Secret Service protection. Even if you don't support my candidacy, I ask you to sign this petition to protect me, to protect the public, and most of all, to protect our democracy.
I mean, it's awful that he's doing this because Biden, the first thing is that Biden would love it if he was gone. I'll just say it like that. He would love it if Trump was gone, which is why everything's happening to Trump. So Biden is a complete scumbag, right, for doing this. But people are making great points, and that is that Kennedy has a shit ton of money. He can pay for security himself.
Well, he is, but he shouldn't have to. If this is what a candidate gets, and this is historically what they're entitled to get, then he should be no different.
Right.
So it doesn't matter how much money he has. That's not the point.
I agree. Exactly. Yeah. But the fact that he is weaponizing the Secret Service is just gross, you guys. It's gross. I mean, you can hate him or love him, which, I mean, he is a raging lib. I mean, we talked about that a lot yesterday, but it still stands that Biden is weaponizing this. And so that's not okay. He has
after assessing that the threat is high.
Yeah.
I mean, how do they justify denying him then?
I mean, Barack Obama had Secret Service for 2 years before. No one even knew who that guy was.
Well, they did because of his famous speech. And that's when everybody was like, oh, he's going to be president in 2 years.
But still, come on. I mean, on all the Gary Hart, come on. This is the thing. All these people get Secret Service and he doesn't. He's obviously had people try to kill him. So I feel like, Biden is sitting back going, just let him die. I mean, I'm saying it. I'm saying the things you guys are thinking it, but I'm saying the things, that's what he's thinking. He's like, well, go ahead. I don't care because then he won't be a threat to me. I don't like him. And the fact that he has a bust of his father behind him.
Right.
What a schmuck, man. Gosh, it's crazy. These people they're just void of morality. It's gross. Absolutely gross.
It's going to be a long show, just FYI, because we still have another big, giant couple segments to get to. So just settle in because we are running behind, which I was not expecting. I thought today was going to be kind of a normal show, and it's turning out to be a little bit long. And that is because there are just clips that we have to share today, including these 2 clips that we have from the Chiefs kicker, Harrison Butker, who did the commencement address for Benedictine College. And the first clip, he's talking about the hypocrisy of some Catholics, namely Biden, Pelosi, others, who are Catholics but pro-abortion. It makes no sense. And he had some things to say about it. Here he is.
Our own nation is led by a man who publicly and proudly proclaims his Catholic faith, but at the same time is delusional enough to make the sign of the cross during a pro-abortion rally.
Yep.
He has been so vocal in his support for the murder of innocent babies that I'm sure to many people, it appears that you can be both Catholic and pro-choice. He is not alone. From the man behind the COVID lockdowns to the people pushing dangerous gender ideologies onto the youth of America, they all have a glaring thing in common. They are Catholic. This is an important reminder that being Catholic alone doesn't cut it. These are the sorts of things we are told in polite society to not bring up. The difficult and unpleasant things. But if we are going to be men and women for this time in history, we need to stop pretending that the Church of Nice is a winning proposition. We must always speak and act in charity, but never mistake charity for cowardice. It is safe to say that over the past few years, I've gained quite the reputation for speaking my mind. I never envisioned myself nor wanted to have this sort of a platform, but God has given it to me, so I have no other choice but to embrace it and preach more hard truths about accepting your lane and staying in it.
That's why it's hard to find churches these days, because too many churches are, like he said, the Church of Nice. And I love that phrase. I love that. I love this kid. I say kid because he is a kid to me. But I love him,
Yeah,
he's good for him.
Awesome. Yeah, he's definitely not a kid. He has kids.
Yeah, I know. But to me, he's a kid, because he's so young. But yeah.
And he is very, very much a strong family man and got totally emotional talking about motherhood and his wife and his wife's acceptance of her role as mother of his kids. And it was just really sweet. And so I thought you guys would like this.
I want to speak directly to you briefly because I think it is you, the women, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. How many of you are sitting here now about to cross this stage and are thinking about all the promotions and titles you are going to get in your career? Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first to say that her life truly started when she began living her vocation as a wife and as a mother. I'm on this stage today and able to be the man I am because I have a wife who leans into her vocation. I'm beyond blessed with the many talents God has given me, but it cannot be overstated that all of my success is made possible because a girl I met in band class back in middle school,
God bless him,
would convert to the faith, become my wife, and embrace one of the most important titles of all, homemaker.
Listen to the tears.
Yeah. And that's
amazing.
That is amazing, especially at a graduation, right? I mean, that's like good for them. Good for them.
Yeah. I mean,
very
cute. Gosh,
oh my God. Cute. Precious. Very, very, very sweet. And that's a really nice message. And I think that's a message that, as much as you and I have had successful careers, I think it's a message that a lot of Gen Xers didn't hear. We didn't hear that message a lot. And it's a message that I think a lot of this generation is hearing more of. And I'm glad about that, because I think that my daughter, who's 14, she's hearing both messages. And I'm glad that she's hearing both. So she'll be able to say to herself, okay, like if I want to go and pursue an engineering degree or whatever and become an engineer, I want her to hear the alternate message, which is, you can become a homemaker too, if you want to do that. I want her to have those choices. I'm not saying that I didn't think I had those choices, but we didn't see a lot of people up on a stage saying homemaking is great. You know what I mean? We didn't get that a lot as Gen Xers. We got go to work, ladies. I think because that was, am I wrong about that? I feel like that was more of the messaging that we got, which isn't a bad thing. I just think that we were more hustlers. You know what I mean? We were out there hustling and doing the jobs and all that. And I think that's fine. I just think it's more of a generational thing, which the pendulum always swings. And I'm glad that this generation has a nice plethora of messaging when it comes to vocations. I think that's great. I think it's great.
Well, and it's nice to also have somebody speaking out about gender roles and the fact that they exist and they're a good thing. It's a good thing. They've always been a good thing. It's what makes a family. And the family is literally the backbone and the foundation of everything good that can be in the world. So
exactly. Totally.
I love that guy. I love that guy.
I mean, being a mom is my favorite job, even though I love my job. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. AI and ChatGPT and all of that is getting seriously scary. So ChatGPT came out with an announcement yesterday about how advanced that system has become. So advanced, in fact, that it can have real, honest to goodness conversations with you via like video. And I don't know what it looks like, but here is part of what the announcement sounded like.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey there. It's going great. How about you? I see you're rocking an open AI hoodie. Nice choice. What's up with that ceiling, though? Are you in a cool industry-style office or something?
Well, can you take a guess at what I might be doing based on what I'm showing you here?
From what I can see, it looks like you're in some kind of recording or production setup. With those lights, tripods, and possibly a mic, it seems like you might be gearing up to shoot a video or maybe even a live stream.
Yeah. In fact, we've got a new announcement to make.
That's exciting. Announcements are always a big deal. Judging by the setup, it looks like it's going to be quite the professional production. Is this announcement related to OpenAI, perhaps?
It is. And in fact, what if I were to say that you're related to the announcement, or that you are the announcement?
No.
Me? The announcement is about me? Well, color me intrigued. Are you about to reveal something about AI? Or more specifically about me as a part of OpenAI?
Oh my
You've got
God.
me on the edge of my, well, I don't really have a seat, but you get the idea. What's the big news?
Yeah, we've got a new model that can interact with the world through audio, vision, and text.
Hello.
Yeah.
That is terrifying.
So like the Terminator and Sarah Connor warned us about all of this.
A long time ago.
I know. I'm just going to like buy a Jeep and start lifting really heavy and like just be done with it. You know what I mean? Because remember, buy a lot of ammo. You guys remember at the last scene of the Terminator where she like drives off in the distance, there's like dark clouds. This is our world now. Like the robots are taking over. They're taking over.
It's so scary. It's so scary that it because I don't know if you ever saw the movie AI with Joaquin Phoenix, where he falls in love essentially like that with a computer who gets to know him and then interacts with him like another person. Oh my God, it's so depressing. And when you think about how reliant and in their phones and devices people are already and how disconnected they are from person to person communication, this is going to make it 10 times worse because the antisocial, introverted people will absolutely form relationships
they will.
with AI instead of actual people.
Yeah, I totally agree. This is,
That's
you guys, this
terrifying.
is, somebody said the Antichrist. Who said that? The Antichrist. Harley Cat. The Antichrist will be AI. I agree with that. Like it's you guys, this is scary crap.
Yes, Kelly, it was called Her, not AI. You're right. Kelly Baskoko said it was called Her.
I don't like any of this stuff. I reject it entirely. I reject it.
I'll tell you who needs to be rejecting something entirely, and that is the moron men that you are about to see in this video. The woman whose face you can see on the screen already. I know this will come as no surprise to anybody. She's like a PhD in gender studies.
Of course.
Raise your hand if you're shocked.
Okay.
She decided to do some man on the street interviews because she wants to see if men on this, not University of Georgia, but Georgia, not Georgia Southern. What's Southern Georgia University? Something like, she'll say it. She's at this campus and she is asking men if they would be willing to donate a testicle to trans men so that, you know, part of their gender affirming care. And the number of guys who are like, yeah, I'll totally do that. Like, what is even happening? Watch.
My name is Amandla, and I have a PhD in gender studies. I'm here at Georgia State University campus in Atlanta, Georgia.
It's downtown.
And I'm here to advocate for LGBTQ rights. I'm going to go around this campus asking male students if they would be willing to donate one of their testicles to benefit trans men and help stop toxic masculinity. Walk with me. Would you donate one of your testicles to benefit trans men? And would you donate one of your testicles to benefit trans men and help fight toxic masculinity?
I'd have to know more about the medical implications of me like having a procedure to get rid of my testicles, but like I'm not against the idea entirely.
Would you be willing to donate one of your testicles to benefit trans men and help fight toxic masculinity?
Sure, why not?
And would you be willing to donate one of your testicles to benefit trans men and help them fully transition medically?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a trans woman, so yeah.
Oh, okay. How about you?
Yeah, I suppose, you know, in theory, yeah. I mean, practically, I'm not really sure. That's a kind of a big ask to spring on me suddenly, but you know.
It's like something you would consider. Would you consider that? Like, we're just trying to assess if an average man would be
my
willing
balls
to
haven't
consider
dropped
that.
yet, so I don't.
Yeah, if I ever felt like I definitely was like, you know, I don't want kids, and you know, somebody explain like, you know, if I knew that things were going to function properly afterwards, I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah,
really.
because there is a risk entailed.
Would you be willing to donate one of your testicles to benefit trans men and help fight toxic masculinity?
It's just like right now, would I go?
Would you consider that?
Yeah, I consider it.
We're gonna put you in a
would you be
van.
willing to donate one of your testicles to benefit trans men and help fight toxic masculinity?
Yeah, I probably would.
So would you be willing to donate one of your testicles to benefit trans men and help them medically transition and also like help fight toxic masculinity?
Probably not. I don't know. I don't think so.
Finally.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so
Thank
we're just
you,
trying
Jesus.
to assess whether or not an average man would be willing to like donate to organ donation.
Knowing the average ship, I don't know if they would. I'm not gonna lie, but I never thought about it. I haven't put much thought about it.
So for you personally, you wouldn't consider that?
Oh, maybe like maybe if I was like a bit older, I would say maybe.
Oh my
I would
God.
consider it. Yeah.
I can't.
And the one dude that said no was wearing a monogram. What's happening?
I don't know.
That was downtown Atlanta, you guys. Downtown Atlanta. That's where Georgia State is. I'm at a loss. Like this is men today. This is and half of them didn't really. Okay, 80% of them didn't really even look like men.
Right.
Like sweet meteor of death just hit us now.
Right. It just doesn't get worse. It just doesn't get worse.
Oh my gosh.
And then on the other end of the spectrum, I guess, then we have, this reminded me of like your algorithm. Like all of a sudden I'm getting all these stunt weirdos.
What?
This guy.
Yeah.
This guy is doing the stunt you're about to see with no harness, no safety equipment whatsoever. And I just, the amount of nope is so much nope on this one. Check this out. It's muted because it had music. What?
Oh my God.
What? How? Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Look at how high he is with no restraints, nothing.
Yeah. I mean, these people are idiots. This is how you die.
Oh my God.
This is how you die. I know. I just can't.
God.
Pamela, they're all saying thinning of the herd, Joan, thinning of the herd. This is the thing. Can you imagine being that kid's mother? I would kill him.
Oh my God, right?
I would.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
And that, your luck is going to run out.
Yeah, your luck is going to, And they're doing it for what? For TikTok likes, for social media likes. That's what they're doing it for. This is this generation. This is the thing. I just, again, with the sweet meteor of death.
Where are you?
I mean, that's what Jennifer said. Don't jump.
Yeah, that's when it would be appropriate for Joe Biden to say that message.
The only time it's appropriate.
Mm-hmm. Judy Flackney, thank you. Judy says, in high school, I told guidance counselor I wanted to be a mom. He tried to change my mind to go to college. Years later at church, he apologized to me for doing that.
Yeah, this is the thing. It's interesting how that works, right?
Yesterday, on TikTok, I saw the Pussycat Dolls girl,
Nicole something. I know. I don't remember her last name either. That girl.
She had made an appearance on Conan where she was wearing, like, I don't know if it was an outfit where it was like pants or whatever, but the top that she was wearing of the dress or whatever it was, like her boobs were all out, right? Like they were just out.
They're
and they spilling and they're just in your face and right there and very distracting for anybody, man or woman, to come into contact with her. They were very distracting. They're gorgeous. Like she has a really, really nice rack. And perhaps if I had that rack, I would also have it on constant display.
Right. Oh, Nicole Scherzinger.
Scherzinger, yes. But what I would not do is then expect for men not to look or be distracted because that is in their nature, right? So this is what I have such a problem with women who do that, who will be like, no, I'm only dressing sexy for myself, but like, don't objectify me, even though my boobs are like all up in your face. Do not look at them.
Totally.
Avert your eyes. That makes me crazy. So anyway, I had that problem with Nicole yesterday, even though she was a very good sport about it, but she did the whole thing, eyes up here, focus Conan, that kind of thing. And I'm like, how's he supposed to focus?
That's irritating. Like you're shoving your boobs in his face and he's a man.
Right.
That's what men do.
He's a man.
Yeah. Men think about food and boobs like constantly. This is what they do. Hello.
I would be distracted and I'm straight. But like, if they're right there and they're that nice, let's be real. I'd be like, dang, like those are spectacular.
Nice
you know what I mean? I'd be distracted. So I was irritated about women from that respect. I was also irritated about this woman you're about to see. And this woman you're about to see is ostensibly a reporter. And she's out on a street doing some story. I mean, she's about to cover some story. And she gets honked at because she's wearing a very tight dress. She gets honked at by a number of cars. Now, if you're a legit reporter who is good at your job, even if you are a voluptuous woman who is getting catcalled or whatever, you do your job. You don't allow a freaking car horn to derail you, because what that does is it makes you bad at your job.
Well,
and
either that or don't wear that dress. Like, just
the way that she fussed about it, as if like she was so put out and couldn't do her job because of it, was so ridiculous. Tell me if I'm alone on this, but that is how I felt when I watched her.
Grow frustrated and Alan Brown, WBRZ, Team 2 traffic. While they were removing 2020. Bruh.
She uses the word bra.
Oh my God! While DOT.
She loves the attention. She loves it.
I mean, I'm sorry, but that was ridiculous.
Yeah, she's loving it. She actually likes it. Otherwise, seriously. Right? Yeah, she's loving it. And I think it's faux outrage.
Yeah.
Over the fact that, I think she wants to call attention to the fact that she's like, oh my God, look at my body in this dress. It's like I'm getting so much attention, and so the people are catcalling me because bibs and my ass and blah. And this is, listen, people are gonna honk at you even if you're not wearing that. Like, if it were me and I was standing on the side of the road and I had a microphone and there was a camera, I probably would get honked at too, just because I'm doing a broadcast, because people are going to do that because it's their tendency to do that. And I don't look like that in that dress, because I'm on the A team, so this is the thing. But people are going to honk because that is human nature to be like, ha, we're on film. We're going to That's what they're going to do. But she is going to make a thing out of it and be like, people are objectifying me because of my body. And that's what it's, so that I think she's doing that because she wants to call attention to that.
Well, and she sucks at her job.
Yes, yeah.
You can't continue to talk simply because you're dealing with car horns from time to time. You suck at your job, and you shouldn't be out in the field. Like maybe you need to be behind a desk somewhere where you can't be distracted. But she sucks at her job. That's what I took from it. Not that guys are like pigs. Whatever. Right. I took from it that she sucks at her job.
Meanwhile, there's a guy that's out there during a hurricane. That's like literally being blown away, and he does a fine job at his job. You know what I mean? It's like, that's not a distraction at all. He's still reporting the weather. So maybe be like that guy. Don't get distracted. Don't get distracted, lady.
Somebody said maybe the producer didn't want the beeping on the video. Then don't do an outside story. Like, you're always going to have outside noises in outside story. You cannot control what other people do in your shot. You just deal with your shot, and you continue to be a professional. She can't do that. So she shouldn't do that job.
Be a pro and focus. Focus, lady.
That's all I'm saying.
Not always about you. Yeah.
Maybe I'm overreacting, but that was my take. Because I knew that the whole point of that video was for me to be angry at men. And I was just like, I'm not. I think you suck at your job.
No, not angry at men at all. Because I don't think it was just about men are thinking about food and boobs. I think it's also, there are probably women in cars going, ha, it's a newscast. Hey, look, I'm
on TV.
Right. People do that all the time. Exactly.
Right. Robin Zecca, thank you. Robin says, my friend is having a bat mitzvah and had to hire policemen for security. I'm not surprised. That's so sad that that's where we are. But I'm not surprised. Not surprised at all.
God, that is so crazy.
Unfortunately. Last thing before Double D, and that is, I had to share this because why? Why do I not see this in my day-to-day life? Why are there not bears riding motorcycles and waving? Why? How do I not get to see this?
That's got to be in Russia. It has to be. There's no way that's in the United States. I mean, no way. That's obviously in Russia. Okay.
Why?
You guys, make sure that you are going to our website where our happy little faces are going like this, and you can subscribe to our newsletter. If you have not subscribed to our newsletter, you should do that. You can get a dose of the chicks every single day. from our newsletter. Also, I don't know if I've told you lately, but grandparents are awesome. I don't think grandparents get enough props on a regular basis, but I loved this video. It was about a granddaughter talking about her grandpa who just missed her and wanted her to come over and do like a sleepover. And it was just oh God. if I could have my Meemaw back, like just for, like a weekend, it would just be the greatest thing. You know what I mean? So anyways, I love this video.
It's muted and you have to read the screen. Okay. But it's so sweet. 92 years old.
So called her crying the other day saying he feels lonely and texted me inviting me over for a sleepover. His health is declining, so I take any opportunity to see him. He's
got all these requests.
Cinnamon applesauce. I'm his only granddaughter. Haha. He wanted strawberry ice cream. So I get him mashed potatoes from KFC, applesauce, and ice cream. And we watched his favorite black and white murder mystery show. Look how precious he is. He made sure I had water for bed and showed me that he made my bed, how I used to make it when I was little with my favorite doll of my grandma's. He gave me a flashlight in case I got scared. Staying here brings back so many good memories from my childhood. I love my grandpa so much. I mean, it was
so
isn't that sweet? Isn't that sweet? And I've seen a couple videos. I know it's just a little video, but I've seen some videos too of like grandparents inviting their grown grandchildren over for slumber parties.
Aww.
And people need to do that. I think that is like the sweetest idea. I love that so much. I hope I have the opportunity to do that one day where they all come over and they just do like these giant slumber parties, which I think that's like, there's a resurgence of that. Y'all, that is like the greatest idea. So do that. I love it.
So cute. Mm-hmm. All right. It is time for just a couple of my Pillow Toks to take us out of this show and in a happy mood. So I'm going to start with like the unhappy news that I did not know about with respect to pharmaceuticals and prescriptions. And so I did not know that these independent pharmacies operated in the way that this fellow who is a pharmacy owner operates. And I feel like this is information that everybody should know because there might be these things all over the country and I have just been like unaware of them. So we'll start with this because this is an educational one.
My wife and I own this pharmacy and we're a cost plus pharmacy, which means that we don't take insurance. We just charge the price of the medication plus $10. This medication is called imatinib and it costs us $7 to buy. We add $10, so you're out the door, $17 with your cancer medication.
Wow.
When Medicare pays for this drug, however, it costs them $2,400.
God.
This drug was filled 250,000 times in 1 year for a total of $600 million. So why are they paying this much for that medication? Well, insurance companies pay a middleman, the pharmacy benefits manager, and that person decides how much that medication is going to cost. Will that medication be covered? All of those questions go through the pharmacy benefits manager. And this person doesn't get paid just a flat fee. They get paid a percentage. So their incentivization is to raise the cost of the medication. If every one of those scripts was filled at our pharmacy instead of through Medicare, it would have cost $4 million.
God.
That means that we are $596 million cheaper than the insurance. Don't let yourself be overcharged as bad as Medicare is. Check your prices on forestparkpharmacy.com. We have a price checker. You can see everything. Send us a request for a medication price if it's not on there, and we'll take care of you. So,
there are some of these mom and pop pharmacies. I know one in particular near me in Waco, and I've gone to it to get it's like a compound pharmacy, and I wonder if it's the same. Yeah, and I've been there for one prescription and I love it. It's so cute. I walk in there. It's like, it's owned by, a husband and wife. It's absolutely, it's tiny. It's very precious. And they do some niche stuff, but I wonder if I'm assuming they do more, and it is a lot cheaper. Mm-hmm. And it's fantastic. They have a cute little like old timey pop machine in there. And then they have like some organic stuff in there too, like little lip balms that some like little like woman has made that they leave at the counter and stuff. It's a really neat place, but I think these are starting to happen, pop up across the country. And I'm delighted to see that. Really
well,
delighted.
that's extraordinary. Like, I mean,
Mhm.
the Medicare, just the ripoff. When anytime
Yep.
government gets involved in anything, it is a complete disaster, and you just don't
Amen.
need any more proof than that.
Mhm.
I don't remember what this. Oh yeah, so this is a video of a woman getting into a position in a chair that makes no sense when I mean, you have to watch it like 100 times. So another woman tries to imitate it with disastrous results. Do not try this at home.
I don't understand. Why do you guys?
Oh God. At least she's okay.
I don't understand. Why do you guys?
What did she just do? I'm gonna have to watch it so many times.
Don't do it though. Please don't try that. You're gonna break a hip. Don't do it. Please don't. I would not try that at all because I know I'd break a hip. I'm not even trying that.
A very sweet and unexpected moment happened with a maid of honor giving a toast at a wedding. Here it is.
If you guys just want to look at each other in the eyes really quick, just look at each other, yeah? And just know that the person you're looking at right now is statistically most likely to murder you.
I love it. I've totally seen that before, and I freaking love her. Like that. That's who you want as your maid of honor right there.
Right?
That's who you want. She's
Also, I know you love owls. I also love owls. I
do.
love this owl's eyes. Look at his crazy eyes. No, not this. Not this.
That's
baby.
not an owl. Yeah.
We're gonna get to that, baby. Just wait.
What are you doing?
I want one. Oh my God.
You guys, he's still here.
I
And he's more
want an
bright-eyed.
owl.
Look at his eyes. Look at his eyes.
I want an owl so bad.
I love them so much.
I need a pet owl, you guys. We had 2 owls that used to live. They didn't live, but they were around us, and they'd sit on the top of our chimney, and they would hoot, like they would do their little like whoo whoo at night, and it would reverberate down the chimney. And my husband would be like, "I've got to stop this," and so he had to put those little like prickly things on top of the chimney. So they don't come around anymore. I want an owl, you guys. I want a pet one.
They are so sweet. What in our old house we had, and of course this was ages and ages ago, but we had a woodpecker decide that they wanted to peck on the metal part of the inside of the chimney.
Oh yeah.
And it was the loudest,
So
most
loud.
terrifying, startling sound. And we had to call somebody to get rid of that because that was unbearable.
Yeah.
Anyway, sometimes birds can be pests.
Yeah.
Robin Brooks, thank you. Robin says, remember when Ducey was reporting during the construction? I don't, but I'm sure he has with no problem because that's what a good reporter does.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Michelle Boyd, thank you. Michelle says, I have 16 grandchildren and we do that. They range from 22 to 8.
Oh my gosh. I love that.
That is amazing.
Fantastic.
Charity Inglis, thank you. Charity says, we honk at golfers about to tee off. May not be a man honking. That's what your point was. Is that it's not just men doing honking.
Yeah.
And MJ Homestead Living Our Dream says, my Skyrizi is the name of the drug. My Skyrizi costs $21,000 per dose, and I get 4 doses a year. That's a freaking salary.
Oh my God. It's a good salary.
Oh my God.
Holy cow. My gosh.
Maybe you should try calling this guy. Like you should try to find one of those
Maybe you
pharmacies
should.
near you.
And you could get mail order probably.
Golly.
That's insanity.
All right, let's have the baby.
I want
Let's
to see
do
the
the
baby.
baby.
I want to see the baby. You haven't seen your daddy all day. Is that what it says?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. So excited. So sweet.
Precious.
Just the sweetest. Oh my gosh.
I gotta bite my mom.
I'm gonna eat her knee.
Isn't that the cutest?
That's the cutest. So
Oh my God.
sweet. I love babies.
Babies and dogs,
Babies.
man.
Babies.
Nothing
I
better.
just feel a little twinge of an ovary going, wait, I'm still there. I'm still here. Still, nope. You're dead. You're dead. Okay.
So dogs. We got to finish off with 2 dog videos. The first is Charles. And Charles was like doing that thing that dogs do where they roll around on their backs and they get all scratchy against the pavement. And then Charles got stuck.
Oh God, he's stuck. Oh no.
Are you stuck?
Oh no.
He's stuck.
Oh no.
What happened?
He's like, it's good. I can chill here. It's fine. I love him. He's such a fuzzy boy.
Oh my gosh. And then lastly, this was caught on a Ring camera, and this is some seriously awesome head tilting.
Good boy.
Oh.
Good boy. That's it. Hey, buddy.
Oh my God.
Hi, buddy.
Hi,
Coda.
His name is Coda. His name is Coda too.
Hi, buddy.
Oh.
You're a good boy. You're such a good boy. Can you sit?
He is sitting.
He's sitting, Mom. He's already sitting.
Oh,
God, I love him.
Isn't that the cutest? Anyway.
Dogs. Oh, the dogs. Everybody's bringing it in. You know, I would bring the dogs in, but they're all here because my husband is at a doctor's appointment. So they're all in the next room. And if I open that door, it's going to be like a scene from Gladiator.
We'll have to just hold flaps until later in the week.
Yeah. It'll just
MJ
bad.
Homestead clarifies on that expensive drug. She says, my insurance pays for it and it only costs me $5, but it is still a ripoff to the insurance company.
Right.
Indeed.
That's crazy. Because then that's the thing. That's why everybody's stuff is so expensive, because all of it is just sort of like circular, right?
Yep.
It's nuts. Insurance makes no sense to me.
It really doesn't.
It really doesn't make it. None of it. It's all nonsensical. You read things from your insurance companies. You're like, what? They're just making this crap up, aren't they?
Right.
It's all just like, oh, let's just make it this amount. It's all dumb, you guys, and it's all because of government.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a racket. You guys have a wonderful Tuesday, and we will talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.